Welcome back to the doll world, everyone. So today I am very excited because I've got something coming my way. It should be here in literally just a matter of minutes. Of course, you already know what it is because you've seen the thumbnail and the title of this video. Today I am getting my very first Samantha Parkington doll. And like I said, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to unbox her. I have to admit, Samantha has been such a big part of my life growing up. If you saw my video where it was like a get to know me and I introduced myself to you guys, then you know the story and that Samantha was actually the very first American Girl doll I ever actually got to see in person. We had her in my house. Now, of course, I was the child of parents who thought that boys shouldn't be playing with dolls, so I was not allowed to play with her, touch her, nothing. So you can imagine the torture. But yeah, I explained in that video that that Christmas season, I really wanted a Molly doll. And not only did I not get her, but my sister got Samantha. And it was just, you know, talk about a punch in the gut. Now, of course, we have seen Samantha get re-released, you know, dozens of times. I think the last one was the 35th anniversary, if I'm correct. And, oh, that's probably her. Wasn't her. Now, okay, real quick. We will get back to what I was previously talking about. I want to talk about UPS for a second because this video is also very different than the video I was going to make had I filmed this yesterday. Because that was the plan, but the day got away from me, and this is what happened. We got to go back in time a little bit because if you recall, some of you may not, Samantha was released with little to no fanfare. I mean, I don't know what American Girl was, I don't know what their designs on this are, but yeah, it was just kind of like one morning she popped up on the website, but not on a homepage, nothing. It was, I found out through scrolling through Instagram that people could find her, and I literally had to go into the search bar and type in Samantha for her to populate on their website. I don't know why they wanted to float this under the radar, but I was so excited to see her. So I ordered her immediately, and I believe she was back ordered until like March 21st. And I was like, that's cool. I'm fine with that. As long as I have her, I'm very, very excited. So a few weeks go by, and if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen I posted a story. I woke up one morning to find out that she had already shipped. And I was like, what? Like, I'm gonna receive her like a whole month early than expected. So I'm very, very excited, as you can imagine. Well, I am the kind of person who I tend to check the shipping notifications like every single day. I will click on the track shipment button every day just to see if there's any movement, any update. But she was on track for the longest time to arrive yesterday, Monday the 3rd. And I was just super, super excited. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm gonna get a video out. This is awesome. Well, Saturday morning, so just a few days ago, I went and did my morning check, and all of a sudden, it had been updated that I was no longer going to get her on Monday. I wouldn't get her until Friday. And I was like, are you serious? Like, come on. That's essentially a full business week, right? I'm gonna get her a week later. Are you kidding me? Like, what's up with that? I was so bummed out. Also because, and you guys don't know this yet, but I am traveling out of town on Friday. We're going on a family vacation, spring break style. And yeah, she's going to be delivered as my plane is flying away across country. And it's frustrating because this isn't the first time this has happened. When I ordered the Barbie day to night fashion pack, I got the notification that it had been delivered to my doorstep literally as I was boarding a flight to go out of town. We went out of town with my family for Thanksgiving, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I had to completely give my, YouTube upload schedule an overhaul and be like, okay, what am I gonna make? And I was, like I said, I was going to make this video yesterday and I was really gonna harp on this, but then just this morning, I checked the notification again and it showed she was out for delivery. So silver lining there. I'm super excited. I'm like, okay, good. This is good. This is good. I can work with this. So I figured I'll film the video today, and I'm gonna kind of do this like precursor before we actually unbox her. But I've already seen a bunch of YouTubers. They have already received her and like uploaded their video, unboxed her and everything. So I'm not gonna really bring much new to the arena when it comes to that. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of just share my story and my history growing up with Samantha. So back to that Christmas, yes, my sister got Samantha, I got nothing. And I was so jealous. I was so heartbroken that I didn't get an American Girl doll, but my sister did. But we did have a Samantha doll in the house. So now my mom wasn't a big accessories or playset person like I am now. So she just got the Samantha doll with the paperback book. I know throughout the course of the years, she would order like a handful of the clothes, and then she had the steamer trunk, and she has all of this stuff still today. But we never actually had Samantha's accessories, like her hat and the brooch and stuff. So I'm very excited that this set will come with it. So I'll actually get to see it in person for the first time ever. And that is how I'm going to display her once we add her. As you can see, I have lined up my original Pleasant Company girls in the background. We've got Kirsten, we've got Molly, we've got Addie. Now, let me clarify, these are actually the reproductions that have been released all probably within the last year from American Girl. The only actual original Pleasant Company Molly I have, she is upstairs tucked away in her trunk. So, but these are the reproductions. So as you can see, we're gonna add Samantha right here. And then the only one I'm waiting for after that is Felicity. I would love for them to re-release Felicity, and then, you know, perhaps all the wounds from my childhood trauma will be healed. It's funny because none of these dolls are from the 35th anniversary release, which I believe was 2021. And at that time, I had blown my entire doll budget on getting Courtney's collection because I was like, I have to have her whole collection. I have to have every piece. So I was already, you know, spending a ton of money. And so then when they released them for the 35th anniversary, I was like, oh, I'll get them. I can't really afford them right now, but I'll get them a little bit later. I had just like it was probably only about like 8 months at that time that I'd actually really been into American Girl like I am today as an adult doll collector. And so I didn't realize it was going to be just for a limited time that these dolls would be available. I thought I would just get them a little bit later, and then I missed every single one. Everything sold out. And so you can imagine I was so excited when they brought back Molly first, I think after that. And I got Molly along with all of her collection. I think it was they released what, the camp outfit, the birthday outfit, and I think it was her school jumper with some accessories as well. I'm really hoping they do that for the other girls, because I don't think we got that kind of a release with Kirsten. We did get her birthday collection, and I love that it came with the book as well. And then with the release of Addie, same thing. We got her birthday outfit with the book, but we never got anything as like, I mean, it wasn't hugely robust, Molly's collection, but we did get some good pieces that I kind of wish we'd get for the other girls. So yeah, I got Molly at the beginning, and then they just released Addie and Kirsten. I don't have like a nostalgic or personal connection to Josefina, so I didn't get her. I've mentioned this before, I was completely aged out of American Girl when she was released, so yeah, I don't have much of a connection with her. So with Samantha literally going to be here in just a few minutes, I'm just waiting now on, fingers crossed, they're going to do a re-release of Felicity with all of her accessories, because that would be just fantastic. And I want her little bonnet, I want the little coral necklace she had. Like I said, my collection would be complete. But as we get ready for Samantha's arrival, I thought I would share some stuff with you. Now, as a kid who was not allowed to play with dolls, I was very grateful that Pleasant Company released books for these dolls. As you can see, I have this collection. This is from my actual childhood. Sorry, I might adjust my lights because I feel like this hasn't been a problem where we get all that shine, but I'm holding them in such a way so you can see it. But yeah, so I had all the Samantha books. I read all of the books. That was really as much as I could get involved with the American Girls collection at that time, since I couldn't play with the dolls. Now this book here is very special to me. This is the actual Meet Samantha book that came with my sister's doll. And I know that because it's yellowed. It's got the mark that one of us, we must have been playing with colored pencils at the time. It's got a little marking there. And then also when you flip it on the back, you can see they only had the 3 girls at the time, Kirsten, Samantha, and Molly. Additionally, if you flip to the inside page, there was always this like postcard you could fill out, and it always showed the dolls. And so as you can see there, we just have the original 3. So yeah, this book is very, very special to me. I don't remember which year my sister actually got the doll, but it was definitely from one of the earlier days. At some point we would go to, I'm pretty sure we got this at Costco. I had enough money, and my mom was probably kind of like, she just like threw up her hands. She's like, fine, whatever, you can have the books. So I was very, very excited to get this collection of all 6 books. And I noticed this must have been a little bit later because this version of Meet Samantha, first of all, it looks a lot brighter. It's not as faded. It's got more of its colors intact. But on the flip side, you can see they have now added Felicity. And same thing when you go to the postcard page, you can see all 4 girls there. So yeah, this must have come out a little bit later, but nonetheless, this one is still very important to me because this was the first one I ever actually, this is actually probably the very first American Girl book I ever read because it was the first one that I ever got to see in person, have in my hands. The next book I wanted to share, and I understand like we've all seen these books before, but I'm just sharing my story. Samantha's Surprise. Now, this book is very near and dear to me because this is the first book I actually ever got to purchase on my own with my own money. I was actually staying the weekend with my grandparents and we went to the local shopping mall. We went into the bookstore and I saw this, and it was actually during the holiday season as well. And I was very excited because this was like the book I was on. I had already read Meet Samantha and Samantha Learns a Lesson. So I was ready for this one. And I asked my grandmother, my mom's mom of all people, if I could get it. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. If that's what you want. Like, no problems whatsoever. I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And so, yeah, she was very excited to get me this book, and I was very excited to have it. And so, yeah, it was honestly probably one of my first moments where I could be, I could really ask for something I genuinely wanted and not get that stigma, like not feel that shame or embarrassment. My grandmother was like totally awesome with it. And so I remember just, like I said, I was so excited to have this and to bring it home. And I probably read it like 3 times over the course of that weekend, but I knew I would never be able to part with this book for that reason. But yeah, did I already show you guys? This would be a little bit later as well because we got Felicity on there as well. So Samantha's Surprise. So yeah, even though I would eventually get the box set and I would get another version, a newer version probably of Samantha's Surprise, this one I will never part with because it just brings back such great memories of, my grandmother and how, accepting she was. I just went to go check outside. She's not here yet. So we've got a little bit of time. Now, as we're on the topic of the American Girl books, I wanted to share and show off something as well. Again, like I said, I've got all my Pleasant Company stuff here, and I want to show you the set of books I have. So if you missed the video, I was at the ripe old age of 27 when I would actually finally get my very first American Girl doll. I bought her off eBay. I found a seller who was selling a brand new in the box Pleasant Company Molly. And this was back in 2007. And they wanted 180 bucks for her, which by today's standard is just absolutely, that's nothing, right? And so I was very excited. I ordered that girl right away, and it really started a new obsession, or I guess a hobby would be a better way. It really started a new hobby in my life in the fact that I wanted to have her complete collection. But my criteria at the time was I wanted it to be brand new in the box, and I wanted it to be made by Pleasant Company. So I knew I had my work cut out for me. I knew I was going to have to be buying this on eBay and, the secondary market. So it was a long process, but I think it was about 13 years, and I finally got her whole collection, trunk and all. So I was very excited. And so after that, I was like, well, now what am I going to do? And that's when I realized I should get the books because I was such a book person growing up as a kid. I always had my nose in a book, and I read the original American Girl books backwards and forwards countless times. I absolutely loved them. I would check them out from the little library in my elementary school. And so I always remembered leafing through the Pleasant Company catalog and seeing these, right? These are the hardcover books with the dust jackets, and they even sold this carrying case. As you can see, it says Pleasant Company, the American Girls Collection, Keepsake Edition. Now the bow, unfortunately, it's a little worse for wear. But I have actually seen YouTube videos of people who have actually kind of, I guess there's a way to kind of restore this a little bit. So maybe one day when I have 5 minutes to breathe, I will do that. But for right now, as you can see, I've got all of the, well, let me introduce this. You can see I've got the case with the bow. It also came with like a little gold, they called it, what did they call it? A book plate. And it was basically It was basically a really pretty bookmark. This set didn't have it. The person who sold me this, it just came just like this. But you guys, if I remember correctly, I think I only paid like 60 bucks for this, which isn't that bad considering their first editions, their hardcover with, you know, dust jackets intact, and then in this keepsake edition case. I was very excited. And one thing I'm really proud of, you can tell they're first editions because they don't have the number system on their spines. They just have the little icons that each girl had. And so I was very, very excited to have this. I want to show you something as well. I think probably most of us know this, but not everyone does. The original Molly books had a different illustrator. They would eventually go back and redo the designs and the illustrations for these books. I don't know why they did that. I'll bet like, you know, I am I am not the Pleasant Company historian like I Dream of Johnny is. I'll bet he would know. But yeah, these illustrations were by C.F. Payne. Forgive me, I want to be very careful because this book is very, very, like, it's not you, like, it's essentially new, so I don't want to ruin it too much, but I do want to show you guys. Oh, I should have gotten my heart. Hold on. I just ran upstairs to go get my box set of, I have paperback Mollies as well. And these ones have the newer illustrations that I think most of us are more familiar with. Oh, this even has the new illustrations from Samantha, because Samantha would also get a refresh on her illustrations as well. But right off the bat, you can see, I'm gonna hold them side by side. You can see how different the illustrations are, right? And the fact of it is, I love both of them. I really do. This one, for example, like I said, I think this is the one that most people are more familiar with these illustrations. And I really liked them because they do have some pretty colors. I feel like they're more vibrant and more energetic, maybe a little bit more whimsical than the original illustrations. Show you a different image there so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But I have to say, I also love the illustrations in the original book because if you take a look at them, and let me show you, you can see that they're a little more brown. They're not as whimsical, I guess you could say, but you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Norman Rockwell style artwork, which would have been the style of Molly's time. So I feel like obviously I didn't grow up in this time period. So if you did, maybe you can prove me wrong, but I just feel like the art style is a little bit more in tune with, you know, the home front of 1944. So I love both styles of illustrations. And another thing I noticed in the original illustrations, check out Molly's table. You can kind of see it right there. Like, this is the kitchen table. Here's a better picture of it. Can you see that? Check it out. Because at the time when these books were released, Molly's table didn't look like that. In fact, this was the table that they were selling. It was a little wooden table with a little drop leaf, which is really cute. But they would then go back and make a new table for Molly, and it's it's probably the one I guess most of us may be familiar with, where it had like chrome and it was red. I always thought it looked more 1950s, but I could be wrong. But what's interesting is that when they then went to update the illustrations, they actually put the wooden table in. You can see this is like the tablecloth from, well, it's a little bit different from the one that would be sold with her birthday collection. But I think there's another picture in here where you can see they've got wooden chairs. So it's kind of funny how it seemed like they always sold the wrong table with the illustrations that were being put out in the books at the time. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. But yes, I am a fan of both I like how we're now on this like Molly tangent. We're supposed to be talking about Samantha, but I always like to point that out, how the illustrations are different. Now, if I remember correctly, it was actually only the first 3 books that have this original illustrator. Let's double check, because we can see it with Molly Learns a Lesson. Again, more of that like Norman Rockwell style artwork in the illustrations. One of my favorites here, this is Molly's Surprise. I love this book and I love the artwork in it. Here's a picture. Again, check it out. Very brown, right? Kind of brown, kind of not boring. I hate to say the word boring, but just kind of like, okay. But then, oh, okay, never mind. I'm wrong. I am wrong. And there's my dog. Maybe that's Samantha. She's here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, let's finish talking. But I have her here in my hot little hands. We will get to her, but let's finish this discussion real quick. Let's get back to Molly. Okay, so I'm going through the books. I forgot. I guess Happy Birthday Molly also used the original illustrator in that of, oh, this one's got a different illustrator. David Gatt, I think is what his name is. Okay. So, but yeah, because that one looks different. But then when we get to Molly Saves the Day, we can clearly see this is the illustration. This is the version of Molly we would get later, and I think that we're all probably more familiar with. But regardless, like I said, I love both illustrations. I'm very happy. Changes for Molly is the new style as well. So I guess it's just the first 4 books that had the original illustration style, which I absolutely love. I'm so happy to have them. Like I said, I was a big book kid, so having these in a nice volume of hardcover with their dust jackets intact, I just love that I got this set. And like I said, I found it from someone who was selling it for like maybe 60 bucks. And we'll now take a look at, I also got one for Kirsten as well. Now, I don't know if this was from the same seller, I don't remember, but as you can see, we've got the first editions because they don't have the numbers on the spines, and all hardcover dust jackets are in pretty decent condition. And then we've got the keepsake edition carrying case as well. Well, probably just bookcase, not carrying case. The bow on this one is a little bit better, but same thing. They didn't have the little book plate tucked into it. So, but I'm still excited to have it. The only thing that I've always ever had a question about was the fact that though there's no numbers, can you see the hearts are different colors? Like I think it's these 3. Yeah. These 3 and this one have a brown heart, whereas this book here, which would be Happy Birthday, yeah, Happy Birthday and Changes for Kirsten, they have a gray heart. I thought that was weird, and I don't know what's up with that, but I thought I would point it out. But yeah, so I got the Kirsten set. And here's where I was going with the Samantha. The person who sold me the Kirsten set, again, same thing. I got it for like 60 bucks. It's like nothing, right? And the person also had listed the Samantha set, exact same format, right? It was the originals, no number system, hardcover, dust jackets, keepsake edition box. I didn't notice right away that they had that listed, and I found it while my family and I, we were in Disney World. We're always in Disney World, you guys. And I saw it come up as we were entering Space Mountain. And if you've ever been on Space Mountain, there's no cell phone service in there. So I was like, oh my God, let me do this. But my family was going in, and I was like, okay, Mike, don't forget, when you get off Space Mountain, get on eBay and buy this thing. Well, guess what I forgot to do? I guess Space Mountain like spun me around too much, completely forgot. And I didn't remember until like the next day. And then I was like, oh no. And so I immediately get on eBay, gone. Someone snatched it up. And I was like, oh. So I was so bummed out that I missed that. And then honestly, and that was probably about a year and a half ago. And I have never seen these style of books for Samantha's collection. I've never seen them come up for a decent price. There was one that popped up, but if I remember correctly, the person wanted like 300 bucks for it. And I was like, well, that's a little much. I don't want to spend that much on it. But I'm very happy that I have Molly and Kirsten. I got a deal on those things. So I'm still holding out hope that one day I will get Samantha's bookcase. All right, folks. So with that little history lesson about Samantha and me growing up with her in my life, I think it's time to open up my very first Samantha doll. But let's do this. Got my, ooh, don't want to cut myself. All right, she's good. Okay, here she is. All right, you ready? Here she is. Oh, I'm so excited. First look. Oh, my turn to look. She's super, super cute. She is super cute. Looks like her bangs are a little wild. We're gonna have to touch those up a little bit, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. All right, let's get her out of the box. All right, here she is. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Now, for those of you who have been into American Girl and been American Girl collectors much longer than I have, you know, you've seen this doll come and go so many times, you've probably almost lost count. But one thing that I think a lot of us are kind of interested to learn about is this new book, this new keepsake book she's got. I was actually very surprised that they didn't include her original book, because we've seen that so often now with, you know, Kirsten and Addie, Josefina, and then we had the Kirsten Surprise that came out. So I'm actually surprised that we're not getting the classic Meet book with Samantha. I guess they figured she's been around for so long and she's so popular that everybody and their mom has that book, so they wanted to do something a little new. I don't know. But, oh, and if you wanted to see the box, so it's the burgundy style box, American Girl on the side. In the front, we've got the little peekaboo where Samantha can see out, American Girl's collection, promotional photo of her and the new book. And the other thing I was surprised, they're using the newer style of illustration on Samantha. Never mind. No, they're not. Okay, but it's, okay, no. It's the original. You can see, I'll hold up the book, and can you see that? They're very, very similar. So I think that is the original artwork, but what's funny is I can see it right on here. This, however, is the newer illustration of Samantha, which I'm not as much of a fan of. You know me, this is the era I grew up in, so that's what I like to see, but who cares? All right, let's unbox her. Okay, lid is removed, and here she is. Out of the, ooh, we got some we got some funky hair there. Oh wait, no, that's her bow. That's her bow. From what I'm seeing on my monitor, I thought this was like she had this like weird, like, you know, cowlick or something going on. But here she is. There's her face if you wanted to get a good look. And here is her book that I'm very excited to flip through. One thing that's cute about the book is the way it feels, because the way it is bound, it feels just like a classic Pleasant Company American Girls collection book, the paperback version, of course, but it has that same feel. It's got the same dimensions. We've got this little crease here on both the front and the back so that you can open it up. That's actually very, very cute. I like that. So though it is something different, it has a very familiar feel to it, which I appreciate. Behind the book, we've got her accessories. Now, I've mentioned this before, probably right in this video. We never had her accessories growing up, so I'm very excited to have them for the very first time. You know what? Let's put these off to the side and let's look at her first. And then we can go backwards from there. So taped, oh, okay. Taped to the box and behind the book is her hat. And then here she is in all her glory. Check it out. Oh, this is so cool. Now, one thing I have to say, now granted, it has been years since I actually saw my sister's doll, but I have to say the fabric feels different. I could be wrong. I don't know. If you have both, I would love to see your side-by-side comparisons, but the fabric of this dress feels off to me. But like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering incorrectly. But aesthetically, the look of her is spot on. So I have snipped her out, so we should just be able to pull her right on out. Yes. So there we go. Some of her hair got stuck in the little neck thing. Yeah, some of her hair got stuck in this little neck holder. Like it was like a strand, so it's not too bad, but it did kind of undo in the back. You can kind of see that. So be careful if you get this. Be careful taking her out. So let me take her hairnet out. Oh, it looks like the hairnet is only on this piece of hair here. It's not on her front like we usually see. So one of you gave me a wonderful tip. I'm gonna put her, got my stand. I wanna put her in the stand here. One of you gave me a really good piece of advice when it came to the hairnets. So thank you for that. And that was basically, if they ever do this, because I just had this happen with my Claudie doll, where it kind of looks like the hairnet is like, the bow is outside of the hairnet. One of you said to just rip it and it works perfectly. So I'm going to give that method a shot. Because this hairnet is not over her entire head, it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to remove. So, but yeah, it's kind of like the hairnet is kind of tied right where the bow is. So I'm going to just tear it. Yep, it works just fine. Okay, thank you, whoever, I'm gonna look your name, I'm gonna look up your name right now, and I will put it on the screen. Thank you so much. That worked perfectly, came right out. So, okay, honestly, this is the reason I started this channel, because I have so many questions, and I know there's people out there who know more than me. So I'm just soliciting advice on this channel here. Um, okay, but here is the back of her hair. So cute. Definitely gonna have to like give it a little bit of a brush. I actually I love her bangs. They're so cute. I remember my sister's doll having like really long bangs, if I remember correctly. But yeah, check it out. What do you think? Now, you know what's funny? For years, for the longest time, I have always been the kind of person who I could never really spot an American Girl, like the face sculpt, and immediately know who it was. I was always blown away when I would watch videos and stuff, and they would be like, oh, and as you can see, she's got the Joss mold, or as you can see, we've got the Marie Grace mold, or whatever. I'd be like, how do like, I, it looks like an American Girl doll to me. But now that I have been doing this more and really building up my collection and paying more attention, I can definitely see the variances in the different face sculpts. And I do have to say, and maybe it's just because I have just such vivid memories of my sister's doll and really imprinting on that thing. I can see a little bit of difference in this face here compared to the original one by Pleasant Company that my sister had. You know what I should have done? Of course, now that I think of it, I should have gone over to my mom's house and grabbed her because she's running around somewhere, and I could have done a side by side, but oh well. Maybe for another video. But yeah, I think she's adorable. I see a lot of Mary Ellen in her face. I don't know if they have the same face sculpt. You would know better than me. But she looks very much like Mary Ellen to me. But I'm happy nonetheless. The outfit, I just love it so much. I'm just glad to finally have Samantha in my collection. So now let's take a look at her accessories. So first up, we have Samantha's hat. Now I have to admit, when I first saw this, I was actually surprised at how shallow this rounded part is. I thought it would be more rounded, I guess. For those of you who had the original, is this what it actually really looked like? It just looks so like low profile to me. It's cute, but like I said, I thought it would be have a little bit more bump there. And I also don't remember it having all of these ribbons hanging. Like I said, I never actually owned this piece, so I can't tell. You would know more than me. But I didn't know that it had all these different ribbons hanging down the back of it. That's really cute. And especially because I love all the different details and variations and textures we get with all the different ribbons. Now we do have a ribbon that goes around here, but I'm a little surprised at how wonky it is in the front. At first I thought I got a defective one, but as you can see, that was obviously a deliberate choice to put it there and here on the front and back, but yeah, it kind of looks a little goofy there. Also, I thought I got a little defect here as well. I was like, uh-oh, it's a little worn in the felt. But as you can see, again, that was deliberate as well, because that's actually where they've sewn on the American Girl tag. Just some minor imperfections, but let's be honest, I'm gonna put this on my doll's head and put her in her display case, and honestly, I probably won't even notice those details, but I've just felt the need to point those out to you. So here we've got her handkerchief. This is very, very cute. As you can see, it's like it's a white cotton handkerchief, and it's hemmed very, very nicely. I know they have to do this, but is anyone else annoyed at how large these tags have to be on these little pieces here? But as you can see, we've got some really nice embroidery here, some florals. That's very, very cute. I do like that it's nice and pressed. We don't have any creases or folds in it right out of the gate. So you can kind of do, you can put it however you want. I think it's supposed to come peeking out of her little purse, if I'm correct. Speaking of which, here it is. How cute is this? So we've got this nice, soft, pinkish, kind of a blushy pink material here, and then we've got this very shiny, very polished gold clasp here with the chain. That is nice. I love the way that that's gonna really catch the light and kind of give Samantha a little bit of sparkle. And then we've got the clasp enclosure, just opens up, and then you've got the purse there. And it does have a nice soft, like kind of a silky lining, which is really, really cute. Again, another one of these enormous tags, but at least that one won't show. But very, very cute. To go in the bag, we have this Indian head penny. I do like that they gave the penny in this little paper piece. This is very reminiscent to me of a classic Pleasant Company. So you get this little envelope, and we'll slide that out. And there it is. But as you can see, it says United States 1904. Oh, there we go. You're just gonna have to look at my hand. United States of America 1904. And then on the flip side, we get a little detail and then it just says copy. But that is super, super cute. I love they've included this. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck that right now into her little purse. And then lastly is a piece I have wanted for so long, and that is her brooch. Here it is, her brooch, and as you can see, oh, I've already got some fingerprints on it. Oops, it's very shiny, very sparkly. I think this is a beautiful piece. As you can see, we've got the metal ribbon, and dangling from it, we have this heart ornament, and it's got some etching on there. This is so cute. This is gonna finish her look very beautifully. And I have to admit, for the longest time, I was always curious to know as how you actually like affix this to her dress. I thought for sure, I was like, there's no way they're gonna give us a pin that we have to like puncture her outfit with. But it appears that is the case. So be careful. I know I'm gonna be a little stressed putting this on her, but it will be worth the effort in the end because I think this is going to complete her look beautifully. Again, give her that little bit of sparkle. This is great. So just a little look at her accessories for you, and you guys, check it out. I did it. I got her brooch on. It wasn't nearly as difficult as I was expecting it to be. So what I did is I actually just wound up taking her dress just like a little bit down, and then I just kind of pinched it right here and stuck the pin through, and I think I got it. I knew it was going to be an issue because I have a little bit of OCD and I wanted it to be perfectly straight and centered, and I think I was successful in this. I think she looks great. Like I said, I think the brooch really kind of completes the look. I remember I was always kind of disappointed as a kid with the Samantha doll we had in our house, and we didn't have the accessories because I was like, oh, the brooch makes the look, Mom. Hey, better late than never, right? So I got that going. I've got her little purse here, and I put the penny is in there, so obviously you can't see that. And then I kind of tucked her handkerchief in a way so it kind of peeks out. And so when I put her on display, I'll have those pieces together for her. And I just think she's just gorgeous. She is a stunning doll. I am so excited to finally have her as part of my collection, and I don't know what else to say. So there she is hanging out back there. I'm so excited. I just had all the original three girls all right next to each other. I was like, oh, I can only imagine the pictures I can now take and kind of recreate those images from the old catalogs. That is so cool. I'm so happy to have her. So one thing I totally forgot, I wanted to take a look at her book. So here is a look at her book. Again, A Keepsake Guide to Samantha's World, An American Girl, 1904. And do you guys see what I was talking about? It feels very much like the classic style books that were released by Pleasant Company and eventually American Girl. And like I said, it even has this like perforation here. It just has that feel of the classic books. I'm gonna back up my camera a smidge. So here we go, we'll look on inside, and right off the bat, we get this beautiful illustration, one of the newer illustrations of Samantha. Welcome to the world of Samantha Parkington. And as you can see, we just get this very lovely introduction to Samantha and the pieces of her collection. I really like this. This is definitely going to be one of those books that I will leaf through from time to time. Oh, look at that house. I love this. You even get like a little tour of her house. That's so cool. Oh wow, they really go into detail with this thing. We get to see some neighborhood stuff. Now, I think a lot of these illustrations came from that. Remember when they sold those big things? They were called the scenes and settings. It was like the giant portfolio where you could have like little backdrops for your dolls. I have the Molly one. So now we were on to her school story. Oh gosh, I wanted this whole setup so bad. I loved the brass lunch pail, and that desk is amazing. And the Buster Brown dress. Oh my goodness, there is just too much good stuff here. This honestly is going to be, for the Samantha fan, this is going to be just as good as leafing through, well, actually no, I think it may even be better than leafing through an old Pleasant Company catalog. Oh my gosh, Samantha Surprise, check it out. This is awesome. I absolutely love this. It really is kind of like the best of everything. Not only do you get to see all of the merchandise, all of the products that were made for her, But you get a little brief glimpse at what the story was. We get some of the illustrations. That is fantastic. And honestly, yeah, because like I was not into American Girl when this thing came out. So like there's definitely going to be a lot of stuff in here that will really kind of catch me up and get me up to speed as to, what I missed out. Yeah, like I don't even know what that is. That is very cool. This is, yeah. Oh, that outfit. Oh, like, oh my goodness. So I just realized, oh, by the way, well, I probably shouldn't say this. You guys, I may be getting this soon. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just going to keep going because at this point we're almost finished with the book. So you've gotten to see almost every single page. So it is a smaller book, but as you can see, it's pretty comprehensive. And I love these kind of like compendium books where they just kind of show you everything. Up there's the steamer trunk. My mom has that, and it's in pristine condition. So one day it will be mine. Yeah, I love the tour we're getting of her whole house and all the various different rooms. Oh my. I have to admit, like I said, I actually like this a little bit more than getting another copy of her book. I hope we get to see this eventually with Kirsten and Molly and the rest of them. Oh, and that's it. And that's the last page. So we just went through the whole book together. What do you think? And with that, I think I'm going to end our video here. I hope you guys had a fun time hanging out with me today. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. I do enjoy making this and showing off my collection, sharing my newest additions, and I think you guys get a kick out of it too. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below, will you be adding the new Samantha to your collection? Especially if you're someone who's never had her. This will be your first Samantha, or maybe it's gonna be your 100th Samantha and you still have to get her. I'm very curious to know like what you guys think and how she's gonna sell, especially because she was so, floated under the radar there by American Girl. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, ring the bell to be notified so you never miss an upload, and while you're at it, give this video a like. You guys are the best. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time in the doll world. Bye.